Here are my tips for you so you go into the purchase of your property prepared. First-time home buyers get taken advantage of by realtors, sellers, and lenders. So it's very important that you have correct representation from a realtor when you go to buy your home. The first thing is you have to understand that your realtor really matters on the buying and the selling side. So I've bought many properties myself, and I always get a good deal if somebody hired a realtor that's a friend, a relative, or somebody that they know. It's always good to hire a realtor that does this full time, that can represent you, because there's so much that goes into buying a deal that's really important. So when I first started buying homes, I was unaware of this. So on my first home purchase, I just hired a random realtor. Well, what happened was I made an offer on a property and verbally it was accepted and I was super excited. And then the next day, my realtor informed me that they sold the property to somebody else that came in at a higher price. I was really confused because I was told they accepted the price that I had offered. And my realtor just casually was like, yeah, it was kind of unethical that they took another deal after they told us that they were going to accept yours. The problem with that is she never forced them to sign anything. And so this is the kind of inexperience that you don't want when you're going to buy your first property. Another situation that actually benefited me happened on the fourth house that I bought. So I went to go buy an investment property, and the realtor that was selling it had labeled that the property had a new roof. Well, it didn't have a new roof upon investigation. So what that means, and she didn't think that it did, it was an accident. She accidentally put that there was a new roof. So what that did for me was I could have got her in really big trouble because she misrepresented the property. The seller then had to credit me the cost for the new roof, even though the price that they accepted, they thought included the roof that was already on there. So these are really big things. So just make sure when you're going to buy your first property, you have a really good realtor with a lot of experience that can help you buy or sell your home. The second thing you need to understand is in these times of inflation, you want to lock in set debt. Interest rates have been going up. There's people saying that they're going to come down, but we don't know when they're going to come down. So you're better off to lock in a rate for 30 years now than try to do an adjustable rate that's going to reset in the next 2 to 5 years, because you really don't know what interest rates are going to be in the next 2 to 5 years. Also, if your home depreciates, which it can depreciate in value, you may not even be able to refinance if the rates do go down. So it's really important that you want to lock in that 30-year rate. The third thing you don't want to do when buying a home is max out your pre-approval. So sure, the lender is going to say, yes, you're approved for a $500,000 house. That means that's the highest you are pre-approved for. So that means your payment's going to be really high. So I don't know if you know what house poor is, but essentially it's when all the money is going towards your house. Because on top of that mortgage, you're going to have taxes, insurance, and things are going to break, and you don't want to be house poor. So just make sure that what you're pre-approved for, you can afford, and just know you don't have to max out that pre-approval. The fourth thing is on the home inspection, and this is really important. You don't want to just go with your realtor's inspector, and you certainly don't want to go with the seller's home inspector. Sure, they may offer a deal and they may be cheaper, but everything relies on that home inspection. That's what's going to tell you everything that's wrong with the house and everything that you could potentially have a problem with or get a credit for as the buyer. So you want to have a really good home inspector, and you want to pay top dollar for this person because they are worth it. So what happened to me on one of the houses that I bought, once again with the roof, is my home inspector had said that this roof needs replaced. The seller was upset because it had been under contract before and the previous inspector had not said that. But because my inspector said the roof needed to be replaced, and these are all the reasons why, they either had to credit me for the roof or they could have declined that offer, but then that roof issue has to be disclosed to the next buyer. So it puts them in a precarious situation. So they decided to credit me for the roof, and I ended up closing on the property. So paying An extra probably $300 for that inspection over what a normal inspector would cost was well worth it for me because I got credit for a fully replaced roof. The fifth thing that you want to know as a home buyer, especially a first-time home buyer, is you really only have to put down 5%. People kind of think you need to put down 20% because that's more on your standard loans. There are FHA loans that allow you to put down only 5% on the property. So you may be able to afford a house quicker than you think.